How's it going, guys? We're back with Instacart today. We got the lovely Instacart vest, and I only wear this when I deliver. I still have yet to have my wife sew this up because it looks horrid. Do not buy this. Anyways, yes, we're back doing Instacart. We just did our first order, actually. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything. Nothing good, okay. But yeah, we're back doing Instacart. Today was really weird because the drop happened basically 10 minutes earlier than normal for me, and I was still on the highway and orders just started popping up, and they weren't even that good, so it was kind of weird. So I got here and orders were just raining all over the place, which is kind of rare, to be honest. And then I got this nice Sam's Club order. It was only 5 items, 10 units, a lot of water, but the turnaround time was good. We finished that order in about 40 minutes in total, from shop to deliver and coming back to Costco, all in 40 minutes. We already made 40 bucks. That's $1 a minute. Today we're gonna be talking why I quit my last job to do this full-time. Basically, there's a lot to it, and we're gonna talk about that throughout this video. If you guys are only here for that, skip to this timestamp because that's where I'm gonna spill the beans. But if you guys actually want to watch this ride along, just stay tuned. It's been kind of interesting. You guys have been wanting to know what it would be like after getting temporarily deactivated, what it's like to come back. It's a little odd because I could tell something is different on the app. Like, I'm seeing way more orders. It's like as if I'm the new shopper again. So I guess that's a good thing because it's been pretty nice lately. So we have a promotion going on right now, and we do have this $22 batch, but I'm hoping for something better because we're at Costco, and Costco usually has some good orders up until like 12 over here. So we have another hour to hopefully get close to 100. My last order delivered to a warehouse. It was like a $20 tip, and the Instacart pay was 18. That's kind of rare to see as well. So thank you, Instacart. You actually paid me good today. Anyways, I'll see you guys whenever we get a batch. I'm gonna lie, this is tempting. It's not a bad batch, but the problem is I'm at Costco. I'm not at Sam's, so I'd have to drive to Sam's. But yeah, not a bad order. It would definitely get me close to 100 by 12. But in reality, I'm just too lazy to drive all the way over there and spend more gas money. I'm gonna hope for something over here in Costco and gamble a little. Just like that, it's gone. It's gone forever. Just wait though. I promise you, this is gonna be worth it. And if it's not, I'll just complain about it this entire video. All right, guys, so mistakes were made. I should have taken those orders I showed you earlier, but I was getting too ballsy there, and I sat for 40 minutes. The good news is we got another $40 order, but it's 22 miles, so it's barely $1 per mile. But I was sitting for too long to cherry pick all day. I'm still happy with this, and we should be at 80 by, I think, 1 p.m., which is pretty good. So I'll see you guys whenever I have the order. So what I started doing, thanks to this YouTuber that I've been watching lately, I'm going to start taking pictures of the cold items in a cold bag, and I think it's going to give that customer just that extra touch to possibly give me a good review or increase the tip. It is a 45-minute drive, so it's going to have to stay cold. So that was fun. The lines at Costco are absolutely insane right now because their systems went down for like their debit card readers. So basically everyone went through checkout and then had to go into another line to go get everything like figured out. In the process, I saw these older ladies. They were just confused at what was going on. I don't think they realized that their payment didn't go through. They were in the second line, right? And then some person's like, I'm gonna have you guys go to this line instead, and they just dipped. They just took their cart straight out the door with probably like a couple $100s worth of groceries. I don't think they did it on purpose, but it's kind of funny. But yeah, I ended up getting 2 receipts, and one's just weird, so hopefully Instacart doesn't freak out about that. That's why I'm keeping my receipts, and I'm finally gonna organize these, do it by month, and just keep them for a year just in case. I actually bought like a filing system finally, so I could keep track of these things. So I feel like an official adult now with my file system. These are things I probably would have never guessed I'd be excited about. So I screwed up big time on this order. It was a 45-minute drive, now it's only 37 minutes, but for $40 it's not really that good. Apparently there's like traffic, which is making the high mileage even less desirable. Sorry I couldn't record this morning's order. My camera was dead. Yeah, I tried to record and then it was like out. So it's just my luck. Our first Instacart ride along is a complete disaster, and I'm okay with it. I mean, it's not too far away from the norm over here. You get what you get. Sorry guys. Look at all that lovely traffic. I can't wait. Alright, so we just dropped that order off. It took us about 40 minutes to get here, and we have a 30-minute drive back to Costco, but I'm not sold on driving all the way back there. I might just stay kind of in this neighborhood because it's close to where I live, actually. Apparently there's traffic on the highway, which is why it took me so long to get here. It's because they're taking me down the country back road. So we're at $82 right now, and it is 1 p.m. and that isn't too bad, but it kind of stinks that I'm so far away from the stores that I really want to be shopping at. I got basically no sleep last night, so my brain's a bit foggy on what's a good order and what's not a good order. And it's important to realize that if you guys are doing Instacart full time, you guys need to have a pretty clear mind to be able to figure out really fast, okay, is this order something I could get done in an hour? Is the pay rate going to be what I need? Is it going to cover the miles and things like that? Alright guys, so we're back at Costco. I wasn't seeing anything in my neighborhood, so I just drove all the way back here. It is now 1:40 and we're only at $82, so not the best, but I kind of screwed up today. Anyways, that gives us some time to talk about why I quit my job to do Instacart full time. So I grew up in St. Louis and I recently moved down here to Texas, and in St. Louis I had a job at Microcenter where I worked in the service department. I built computers, I rebuilt computers and stuff like that, and I did a lot of troubleshooting. I worked there for a while and it was a $15 per hour job, but I did get commissions on things that I sold, which turned out to be a pretty substantial amount of income. But yeah, I decided to move down here because St. Louis was getting a little sketchy, and then yeah, there's no microcenters down here. So it was either go work for Best Buy, go work for HEB, or actually go into IT like I was supposed to, because that's what I went to college for. I just don't enjoy it as much as what I'm doing now. So I actually got into the gig community through people like Nugs and Tatvar, and those are actually some of the people that helped convince me to start these YouTube channels as well, because it's pretty profitable if you guys do it right, and it's just fun. If you guys work with no one, it's kind of fun to still like kind of explain how your day went to people online. So it all started with the company Shift actually, and I applied to them and I was on a waiting list for like 6 months, so I was looking at some of my other options and I found Instacart. So I started doing Instacart and I was making like 15-20 bucks just here and there on the side. It was through Tatvar. Finally I figured out about the Costco drop, and as soon as I started working at Costco, I commute like 30 minutes to get here. My income has jumped up a lot. It's to the point where I'm making considerably more money than I was at my previous job, so I just never found another job. I just stayed doing Instacart because even if I burn through this car that I bought for this job, even if I go through it in 2 or 3 years, I only paid 10 grand for it, and even if you take that 10 grand out of my paycheck for the next 2-3 years, then it's not really gonna hurt me that much, and I would still be making more than what I was at my previous job. Not to mention, you can also work as much as you want, so you're not capped at 40 hours, so if something comes up, you guys can work even harder to make the money that you guys need for your bills or whatever is going on in your family. Another thing I like about this job is I could work more this week, so I could take some time off next week. I don't have to ask my boss for time off. If I'm feeling sick, I don't call anyone, I just stay home, and I go out the next day if I'm feeling better. Instacart saw that I took that crazy batch. Now they're just like, oh, we got a crazy guy. Let's give him more of those. Not this time, Instacart. Not this time. Not to mention, even with gas in my car depreciating every day I drive it, I'm still making a lot more per hour, and this is a job that doesn't require any degree. It also doesn't require that much thinking. It's kind of just, you listen to a podcast and music, you shop at a grocery store, and you deliver. Every once in a while, though, you get to deal with a rotten apple, and that's always not fun. But for the most part, it's pretty enjoyable, and you're kind of just working at your own pace. Some days, if I do really well and I get a huge order in the morning, I also get a clock off early. So I just go home and get to work on YouTube and relax. But it kind of works the opposite way sometimes, because some days are super slow, so I have to work a little bit longer. But for the most part, we average right around $25 an hour for what we're doing. If you guys include gas, maybe $1 less. Some days we're closer to $40 an hour though, but it all comes back down to the average of probably 25. There's a lot more risk involved when you guys are doing this full time. If you guys break your leg and you guys can't shop, then you guys are out of a job and income. There's not too much to save you there. Instacart's definitely not going to pay you for you having a broken foot. Like, you don't work for them. You're just a personal contractor. It can be a pretty risky job, but we're doing a pretty good job at diversifying my income right now. We have the YouTube channel, or actually 3 YouTube channels all making money, and we have Instacart. I flip PCs still because I have the knowledge to build computers, so I sell those on the side as well. My wife is also starting a YouTube channel similar to this, so she's going to be making some extra income there eventually, and she has just a normal job as well. So we have a lot of things going for us, so even if I lose Instacart, I could always work for another gig app or just focus on YouTube. YouTube isn't quite paying the bills yet, but we're getting there. So yeah, that's why I quit my day job for Instacart. A lot of you guys would probably say I'm just stupid for doing this, but it's working out pretty well. And with this YouTube channel, the income can be very exponential. It's like a snowball rolling and getting bigger and bigger as we grow the channel. So yeah, back to sitting and waiting for batches. All right, so we just got a really easy order, $23, 5 miles, 6 items. I'll take that. Should get us right around 105, probably here in 40 minutes. All right, that order went pretty smooth. I think we shopped it in about 5 minutes. And with checkout, we were probably in and out of the store in 10 minutes or less. So that's pretty nice. The drop off is 10 minutes away as well. Almost thought I lost my phone for a second. So yeah, in total, this might take us like 35 minutes for 20 something dollars, which is really good actually for the hourly rate there. But yeah, I'm gonna go drop this off, cross our fingers for a nice order, maybe even on the way back home. All right, easy drop off. We're at 105 right now, and we've worked right around 4.5 hours. I'll do the math on our hourly rate when we're done with the day, but so far we're doing all right. We could have been doing a lot better because our first order this morning was really good, and then we just messed it all up. I'll probably try and get to like 150 today as like my minimum. If I get like to 140, we'll call it quits. If I get an order that drops off near my house, I'm probably just gonna call it quits for the day, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. All right, order went pretty smooth. Every single thing was in stock, which is pretty sweet. Means my order shouldn't go down at all, and we'll be right around like 135. Probably try and hit one more order. I skipped on another $30 order that would have taken me by my house. Like I was saying earlier, I'd really like to hit 150. Now we only need $15 more after this. Chances are we'll get something a lot nicer than that. Kind of a slow day, but we're still making some money. That's all that we really need. We're not too stressed out. It's been a lot of sitting and listening to podcasts, which I can't complain about. So we sat for another like 45 minutes, but that's our last order right there. It was like $25 about. It's not quite where I live, the drop off, but it is close. It's on the way, so I'll take that. We should end up right around 160. 10-minute drive to their house for the drop off, probably a 15-minute drive to mine. Then we could talk about if we made any money today. I know we did, but we're gonna see how much per hour we made, which is kind of how we tell if we had a good or bad day. Because we spent a lot of time out here. I'm probably gonna end up being out of the house for over 9 hours today. We already know I goofed that one up. So it is 5:40. We should get home right by 6. It's basically gonna be like an 8-hour work day with some commuting time in there. We made $161 in total today. I would guess we spent around $10, $15 in gas because we did do a lot of driving just because of that one order this morning. But yeah, we made right around $20 an hour. Something to keep in mind is that I sat for at least 2 hours today, and it wasn't all at once, but yeah, we did a lot of sitting where it's just tanking our average pay. Not always like this, but it is a Wednesday, and Wednesdays are not the best in my market, but they're sure a lot better than Tuesday, which is why I take Tuesdays off now instead of Wednesdays. All right, anyways, I'm probably gonna start rambling here if I don't go, so thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys on the next video, and yeah, thank you guys.